Hey guys, welcome back to the Piscifun YouTube channel. We're out here today. It's the end of September. Fishing's been kind of tough lately. We're out here in our local lake and we are going to fish some docks today. I'm going to show you guys kind of the way I approach docks. Dock fishing is, when you're bass fishing, it's one of the main things that a lot of people like doing. It's a place that you can always go to get a few bites. So we're going to hit it hard here today. This is a lake that's got a lot of docks on it, and we'll see what we can do. Water clarity is super stained today. I got here at the launch this morning and I looked at the water and I'm like, man, should I even launch my boat? It's got a major algae bloom going on right now, and it is as green as can be. We got probably 3 to 5 inches of water clarity out here, so we're gonna give it a try and see what we can do. A lot of times, especially dock fishing, it's primarily shallow fishing, so usually stained water is by far a positive, so we'll see what we can do. So guys, when you're fishing a lot of docks, the main thing that you want to remember when you're fishing a dock is the fish are primarily there for one reason, and that's to feed. A lot of times, you're going to find your most active fish on a dock, and that's probably why they're so effective. Is it's a place generally that the fish pull into, to not necessarily hang out and live there, but to feed on whatever they can. It's a perfect ambush point. So I keep it pretty simple as far as what I like to do around docks. The number one by far, and that I'm probably going to throw 90% of the time on a dock, is going to be a jig. Just a standard. I keep it pretty simple. 3/8 ounce for anything less than 3 foot of water, 1/2 ounce for anything more than 3 foot of water. Obviously water clarity plays big into the color. If it's really muddy like today out here, you're looking at really stained conditions. I will throw a black blue. I'm throwing this one right now. It's got a lot of chartreuse on it. I put some chartreuse dye on the trailer there, but it's got some chartreuse strands in it, so I'm hoping that really triggers some bites. So that's my number one. Like I said, 90% of the time I'm going to be throwing a jig. Like I said, those fish are going to be there to feed. They're in an active mood. I can fish this jig very effectively around docks. So that's my number one. Number two, if the fish are getting a lot of pressure and you got a lot of guys going by those docks, I will pull out a wacky worm from time to time. This is not a technique I generally like doing because I'm generally throwing on a heavier spinning rod, so it generally getting big fish out of a dock with a spinning setup isn't my number one scenario, but sometimes you have to go down to something like this to get your bites. And then number 3 is going to be one of these guys. This is just a standard jackhammer bladed jig. Everybody knows a lot about these. It's just a great way to cover a lot of water, especially if you're not getting bit a whole lot. If you're getting bit on every dock, I would say go to a jig. It's going to be more efficient. But if you're getting bit on every, once every 10 docks or so, then I generally go to something like this, something that I can move a little bit faster and cover more ground with. I can fish those docks a lot faster.
Right there.
And just cover more water with it, and a bait that's still gonna get bit. Out here I'm throwing a gold blade that generally shows up a lot better on your really stained water conditions. I will throw, like I said, a black blue, but something like this, this lake here is loaded with perch, so that's kind of why I'm going with this. The gold blade, it's got some orange on the bottom. They will be able to pick this out, so we're gonna go with that. But 3 baits that I like to use on docks, something fast to cover a lot of water with, something like the jig that I can be really efficient with, and something like the wacky worm that I can go, behind guys and possibly get some bites. So guys, here's a major tip for you when you're fishing docks. If I have the boat pointed in this direction, I'm going to make sure that I have the docks on my dominant casting side. For me, I'm right-handed, so that would put the docks on the left-hand side. And the reason for that is, I can stand on the front deck and make a roll cast under a dock going this way a heck of a lot easier than I can on the other side. You know, if I do a roll cast on the other side, you're dealing with the console and, you know, basically the boat that's in the way of making that presentation. So I can get better hook sets that way. I can get better presentations to the fish. I'm just going to catch more fish. You know, sometimes you don't have the option and you have to fish on a certain side of the boat. You know, and I've made myself very efficient doing it both sides of the boat. But if I had to choose, and you know, you'll see from the footage of the videos today that primarily the docks are going to be on the left hand side, because that's just the way I like to fish. Boy, they are on these docks today. Not a whole bunch of real big ones, but just good sized ones. So here's another tip for you guys. When you're pulling up to a dock, let's say there's a dock right in front of me. You know, if I'm going in between docks and I have to turn the trolling motor up to get there faster, you know, I'm going to do that. But once I arrive there, instead of backing the trolling motor and turning it all the way around and then stepping on it, you know, that's going to blow a lot of the silt and, you know, the water under that dock, and that is not what you want. You're going to scare every fish in there. So, you know, when you're going in between docks and you have to move a little faster, get that dock in front of you, position yourself, and drop the power poles. I can't tell you how effective power poles are around docks. You're going to catch a lot more fish if you have them. You know, just for the fact of the matter that, you know, you can position yourself so much better, especially, you know, when it's windy out. Drop those power poles in a place that you know where there's fish, and you can cast that dock out effectively before moving on. So guys, when you're attacking a piece of cover, and this could go for just about anything, but we're talking about docks today, I always make sure that I like to attack the part of the cover that I think I'm going to get the most bites on first. So, you know, basically, you know, if I'm fishing a dock and I'm getting bit, let's say I'm getting bit mostly on the inside pilings, I'm going to fish those first. You know, if I think I'm going to get more bites on, you know, the middle, the shaded part of the dock, under, you know, the meat of the dock, you know, I'm going to pitch in there first. And basically the reason for that is I just like to fish the most effective part first, as opposed to, you know, if you fish around the area, you're going to pull fish out to you, and I don't like to do that. I like to throw at the piece of cover that I think I'm going to get a bite on first before moving around and fishing the other areas. So that's kind of always the way I've done it. I know some guys have some, you know, different ideas about that, but, you know, for me, I feel like it's the most effective, you know, way to get bites and land those fish. Another good one on that jackhammer. Yes. Another dandy. So guys, we're going to wrap it up here today. By far the best bait here today was the jackhammer. I had a lot of fun catching fish on this thing today. You know, honestly, turned out to be a pretty decent day. You know, like I said earlier, came to the launch this morning, and, you know, we have a major algae bloom on this lake, and, you know, just to see very staying conditions out here with the algae, you know, honestly, I didn't think I'd catch much today, but honestly, you know, turned into a pretty good day. You know, these fish are kind of used to this out here. This is kind of a stained water lake to begin with. Usually not this bad, but, you know, it can be, can get bad at times, but like I said, by far jackhammer was the winner today. I threw a jig quite a bit as well. I did get a few bites on that, but nothing like the jackhammer. And I think the reason for that was you know, vibration. You know, those fish could find this bait a lot better than they could a jig. Just that vibration, pulling water like that, they could target it a lot better. I was able to, you know, pull fish in on it a lot more effectively than I was on that jig. So, you know, that's a wrap on today. Had a lot of fun. Thanks guys for watching. I appreciate it. Tune in next time.